Canadian filmmaker has described a lifeless soul beneath climbers' feet amid carnage and chaos at the summit of Mount Everest. Cycley, from Ottawa, said he tried to warn other climbers to head off the world's tallest peak, people who later ended up dead. 10 people have died in just 9 days after treacherous weather cut the climbing window, leaving mountaineers waiting in long queues, risking exhaustion and running out of oxygen. Mr. Cycley's photo showed the long line of people waiting to ascend with a corpse still hanging to the rope. It is not known whose body it is. The filmmaker wrote, "We passed over 60 people during the night and arrived to the south summit just after sunrise. The sky suddenly opened up, the mist and cloud cover burned away, and all of the splendor and glory of the world beneath our feet became visible. The Hillary Step was in plain sight, and our team of climbers approached the final crux beneath the top of the world. The sub-zero temperatures and low oxygen level in the atmosphere had taken their toll on all of us. Minds hypoxic, extremities nearly numb, we all pressed on through the life or death situation. The early morning light had revealed the gateway to the summit of Everest, and in parallel a human being who had lost his life. Here we all were, chasing a dream, and beneath our very feet there was a lifeless soul. Is this what Everest has become? Share this article. Share as I documented the team climbing the iconic step. My mind raced and empathized with every person who struggled to stay alive while undoubtedly questioning their own humanity, ethics, and integrity. This poor human being perched 7,000 feet above the western CWM for everyone to observe was a reminder of each of our own mortality. Was this the dream of Everest we all imagined? My heart bled for the family and loved ones, and at the same time I was conscious of the necessity to continue to move. At nearly 9,000 meters above sea level, there is no choice but to carry on. Who is responsible here? The individuals? The companies? The government? Is it time to enforce new rules? Will things ever change? What's the solution here? With great sadness, as the queues pushed onwards and upwards, so did we, as did over 200 people that day. I deeply apologize for the sensitivity of this post, but I feel we have a responsibility to inform aspiring future climbers of the seriousness of this undertaking, while creating a dialogue around how to make safer, more responsible and more ethical choices with how we approach climbing to the top of the world. To those that lost their lives this season, may their souls rest in peace. Mr. Cycley, who was filming 4 Arab women on the mountain on Thursday, said, "I cannot believe what I saw up there. Death, carnage, chaos, lineups, dead bodies on the route, and intense at Camp 4. People who I tried to turn back who ended up dying. People being dragged down, walking over bodies. Everything you read in the sensational headlines all played out on our summit night." Former parachute regiment soldier Martin Hewitt shared footage on Sunday from the peak, saying he had been forced to cut the queue to the top as his tank ran low on oxygen. 4 bodies were retrieved from Everest last week and have yet to be identified. As well as the Everest deaths, 9 climbers have died on other 26,000 feet Himalayan peaks, while 1 is missing. At least 4 deaths on the world's highest mountain have been blamed on overcrowding, with teams waiting sometimes for hours in the death zone, where the cold is bitter, the air dangerously thin and the terrain treacherous. The Nepalese army was drafted in to remove 22,000 pounds of rubbish and 4 dead bodies found in the Everest summits during a massive cleaning campaign. This year's Everest toll is the highest since 2014-15, when huge earthquakes triggered devastating avalanches. British climber Robin Haynes-Fisher, 44, died in the death zone known for low oxygen levels on his descent on Saturday, after speaking of his worries about overcrowding on the world's highest mountain. In one of his last social media posts, he told of how he had changed his plans in order to avoid the fatal crowds. He said, with a single route to the summit, delays caused by overcrowding could prove fatal, so I am hopeful my decision to go for the 25th will mean fewer people. Unless of course everyone else plays the same waiting game. Mr. Fisher was described as an aspirational adventurer who lived life to the full in a statement from his family. Irish climber Kevin Hines, 56, died in his tent at 7,000 meters in the early hours of Friday after turning back before reaching the summit. The father of 2 was part of a group from UK-based climbing company 360 Expeditions, which was attempting to scale Everest. His death comes a week after Trinity College professor Seamus Lawless, aged 39 and from Bray, Company Wicklow, fell during his descent from the peak, having achieved a lifetime ambition of reaching the summit. The search for Mr. Lawless has been called off. An American climber, Austrian climber and 2 Indian climbers are also reported to have died. Mr. Fisher was the 10th fatality on Everest in the current climbing season that ends this month, and the 18th in Nepal's Himalayas in the same period. Record numbers of climbers are cramming onto the piste during the spring season's good weather. There are 41 teams with a total of 378 climbers permitted to scale the mountain during the spring climbing season in Nepal that begins around March. An equal number of Nepalese guides are helping them get to the summit. The 10 climbers who'd have died on Everest in the past 9 days. May 16, Irish professor Seamus Lawless went missing on May 16 after reportedly falling. The search operation has since been called off, and he is presumed dead. Friday, Irishman Kevin Hines, 56, passed their way on the northern Tibet part of the mountain. The father of 2 died in his tent at 23,000 feet on the descent after turning back before reaching the top. Saturday, Robin Haynes-Fisher, 44, collapsed and died only 150 meters from the peak. Last week, 4 Indians, 1 Austrian, 1 American and 1 person from Nepal